Hello, good evening and welcome to the Primetime News coming to you on DBS television from our Douala studio this Wednesday, the 2nd of August 2017. At the anchor, I am Amadou Jallo Buba. The mortal remains of Archbishop of Bafia, Jean-Marie Benoit Bala, has been removed from the Yaoundé General Hospital mortuary this morning. A college of bishops witnessed the removal in the presence of the Minister of Justice, Laurent Esso, representing the head of state, President Paul Biya. Our Yaoundé-based correspondent, Francis Bango, witnessed the removal and pulls together the following report.
It was a zone placed under high security this Wednesday, July the 2nd, as the mortal remains of late Monseigneur Jean-Marie Benoit Bala, Archbishop of the Bafia Diocese, was removed from the Yaoundé General Hospital mortuary. An impressive number of state officials answered present at this solemn occasion, among them Justice Minister Laurent Esso, personal representative of the head of state, the Ministers of Communication, Scientific Research, the boss of the police, and the Central Regional Governor. The brief laying-in state of the late bishop observed a mass that was conducted by Monseigneur Jean Barga, Archbishop of the Yaoundé Diocese, in the presence of a college of clergy which had at its rank His Lordship Samuel Cleda, President of the National Episcopal Conference. Prayers were made for God Almighty to receive the man of God in His holy kingdom. The grief expressed by those present, including men of God and family members, was visible and very touching. Since the disappearance of late Bishop on the 30th of May, the pain is still fresh in the hearts of family members, but they know that all they can do best is to give him a befitting burial.
At night, somebody, what I don't know, called me to tell me that our father is in water in Sanaka River. I was very surprised. When I arrived in Bafia, I don't see him, and until now, I don't know what I can speak. We are going to bury him in Bafia Cathedral, that's all.
From the General Hospital, the casket of Monseigneur Benoit Bala took the direction of the Yaoundé Cathedral for another mass. On the way, hundreds of inhabitants stood along roadsides to witness and make videos of the scene. Arriving at the Cathedral Notre Dame de Victoire, a huge multitude of faithfuls were already present to pay homage to the man of God and multiply prayers for his soul to rest in the bosom of the Lord. The mass that held at midday was championed by His Lordship Piero Piopo, the Apostolic Nuncio to Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea. After this mass, the funeral program indicates that the casket of Monseigneur Benoit Bala, to travel in very reduced speed, shall reach Bafia this same Wednesday. There shall be a laying-in state at the Bafia Diocese with masses to hold every 3 hours. The final mass shall take place at 10 a.m. on Thursday and shall be followed by burial. According to the Catholic Church, bishops are buried where they served, and this is the case with late Bishop Benoit Bala.
Children diapers and cotton napkins are in a competitive race in the markets here in the economic capital, Douala, where traders complain that diapers are becoming more in demand by customers rather than the other cotton that can be reusable. Details of that with our student journalist Raimatu Kebi, who was at the Central Market this afternoon, who will now be giving us detailed reports.
Diapers and cotton napkins are types of underwear that prevent children not to soil themselves from their excrement. They are generally made from cotton, plastic fibers, or textile. Cotton napkins designed specially for children are usually used, washed, ironed, and reused. This soft, highly absorbent cotton cloth is said to be gradually losing its place because some women complain that they are out of fashion, and since it is the rainy season, there is no sun to sun them after use. However, most traders in the Douala market Marché de Femmes, argued that they use diapers rather than cotton napkin because they are hygienic and look modern. According to this lady, she prefers cotton napkin because they are absorbent and economical. The prices of each napkin varies depending on its quality. Why this man complains that he spends a lot using diapers and his child can use more than 3 diapers a day, which is costly. He added that though it is expensive, it is for the well-being of the child because it protects the child from many diseases. Some ladies explain that cotton napkin damage the nails because when you use it, you are obliged to wash them, thus making ladies to use diapers than napkin.
We stay in the world of children. Is breastfeeding an option or an obligation? These, amongst other questions, will be answered in the following report by Wamba Tansi Mirabel as the nation commemorates the National Breastfeeding Week. Let's take a watch.
The bond and love that a mother and her baby shares from birth begins here. Breastfeeding, an important and obligatory exercise every woman who is physically fit is expected to carry out immediately after birth.
She must give breast milk in daytime, in the night. Only breast milk.
Although many women nowadays feels breastfeeding is a choice in preference of artificial milk, specialists in this domain have vehemently condemned this artificial milk, particularly when babies are still very young. Even some nursing mothers have attested the fact that natural milk is secured and even cheap.
This breast milk do not need money. Does not need other, instead to wash the baby, clean the nipple to give to the child. We do not need other or breastfeeding, other mode or the gas to prepare it and other things. The breast milk have many opportunities, many goods. They have the nutrient and hormone to protect the baby from many diseases.
This greatly contradicts the 21st century's woman's notion of breastfeeding, as many claim it makes their breast fall out.
The second fact is that if it is the only breastfeeding who can make the breast to a woman fall, what can we say for those who have not give birth? Because if you go outside there and you take a woman who have 14 to 15, I want to say 40 to 50 ans, yes, you will see those who have not give birth and the breast is not like for the one for 10 years.
With all these facts, science has greatly evolved and even gives women infected with HIV the opportunity to breastfeed their babies.
Today, the science is in an evolution that the health public, the Minister of Health Public have given the opportunity to all the women to give breast milk to the baby. If the woman is declared HIV positive during the pregnancy and take the drugs as we prescribe to her, she must give breast milk until 12 months.
It is for this reason that the UN has set aside an International Day for Breastfeeding. This only goes a long way to show the importance of natural breast milk for babies' well-being, both physically and psychologically. Though some school of thought holds it that most women constitute part of societal working class, no doubt about this, but nutritionists on their part argue that breast milk could still be squeezed out and stored for babies while their mothers are at work. Therefore, during this National Breastfeeding Week, breastfeeding moms have been urged not to relent their effort in giving their babies natural milk because the journey of mother and child's love begins here.
The divisional officer for Bafoussam 2 subdivision, Esono Modo Gregoire, has embarked on efforts to keep the town clean and to fight urban disorder. In an outing accompanied by the forces of law and order, the DO reminded the Bafoussam inhabitants to participate in preparing the town for the upcoming African Cup of Nations. Details of that outing of the DO with our reporter Mange Vernasus.
Honorable Professor Joseph Kanko, CPD Member of Parliament for Mifi constituency, innovates the parliamentary report to his people after the June session. Besides distributing copies of the document containing laws voted during the just ended session of the Parliament, laws which were promulgated by the head of state last July 12, the parliamentarian handed over an envelope worth 200,000 francs for the repairs of the gates of GHS Toket. He also gave 40 bags of cement each to the two main mosques in the town of Bafoussam. Speaking in his capacity as member of the Finance Committee at the National Assembly, Honorable Kanko reassured his comrades and party well-wishers on Cameroon's ability to attract investors, repair her debts, and to organize the 2019 African Cup of Nations. The major innovation this year was the organization of the first edition to award prizes to best graduates, and so 33 graduates and 7 heads of educational establishment, all from the MIFI, distinguished themselves. These laureates receive academic diplomas. The joy of hard work is only realized when such efforts are recognized, so says this beneficiary. Honorable Kanko reassured the public while congratulating these laureates that such a gesture in its first edition has come to stay, so the students have to go ahead, for he is behind them.
Encourage our students today, and we want them to go ahead. We want them to succeed in the different exams they are going to face. I think that there are some of them who have already done the entrance to Polytechnic, so I would like them to succeed in their exams because when we talk about the development, we talk about engineers. If we don't have engineers, we cannot build our country. So I encourage them to go very, very far in their training so that we can count on them and know that Cameroon has a future.
The benefactor indicated that his next outing is reserved for those awaiting results in the Anglophone subsystem of education. The event was graced with dancing animated by some CPDM members.
As you must have noticed there, rather, it was the outing of the Member of Parliament for the Mifi constituency in the west region of the country. He was out to encourage students and also to give feedback of the last session that was held at the National Assembly. Now we will be going back to the story earlier announced, the outing of the divisional officer for Bafoussam 2 subdivision, Esono Modo Gregoire, who has embarked on a Meet the People tour and also to encourage the inhabitants of his area of command to keep the town clean in preparation for the upcoming African Cup of Nations. That story is put together for us by our reporter Mange Vernasus.
The new divisional officer for Bafoussam 2 subdivision, recently installed, has begun his duty by tackling one of the assignments given him by his hierarchy during his installation. This has to do with fighting urban disorder and unhygienic nature of some areas within his area of command. His first stop was at Marché Bay de Bafoussam and the main entrance into the Bafoussam Regional Hospital, areas that have been occupied by hawkers and bike riders. It should be noted that the divisional officer, Esono Modo Gregoire, had carried out sensitization tour 24 hours before this heavy outing. With the help of forces of law and order, such action will render Marché Bay and its environs and the main entrance into the regional hospital accessible, a task which the divisional officer affirms is not all that easy given the rate of civic disorder in Bafoussam 2. As such, they are adopting a strategy to constantly be at strategic areas so as to kill such bad habit once and for all in order to keep Bafoussam 2 clean. According to the administrator, inhabitants of this town have to contribute in the preparatory phase of the 2019 African Cup of Nations by keeping the town clean. As destiny would have it, the divisional officer was taken aback when the senior divisional officer for MEFI met them on duty. He encouraged them in their duty and promised his total support in such a laudable but tasking initiative.
Away from keeping Bafoussam town clean, we will be taking you for what is making news out of our national frontiers. The government of Kenya has assured its citizens that peace and order must reign during and after the August elections that is coming up next week. Government spokesperson gave that assurance during a press briefing this morning in Nairobi, Kenya. Vincent Mekure from the VOA Africa 54 with more details.
In a briefing to the media early Wednesday, Kenya's government spokesman Eric Karaithi said authorities have witnessed propaganda and social media orchestrated crusade to spread fear and anxiety among voters. The opposition has been alleging that the government is conducting secret training of security personnel to help rig the elections.
But let me confirm that these joint trainings are going on to prepare themselves for any eventuality come election day. Police will be in polling stations to support the IEBC to prevent crime, detect crime, apprehend offenders, and maintain law and order.
Mr. Karaithi, who was flanked by senior government officials in charge of security, said that while authorities are aware that some politicians are spreading hate speech and planning to disrupt peace during the elections, measures have been taken to ensure peace will prevail everywhere.
The country is safe and secure. Kenya is safe. A lot of efforts have been made. We are aware, and certain sections of the public are aware about individuals, politicians trying to use goons for illegal activities. What we are asking every citizen is that utilize every opportunity available to you.
Despite reassurances and calls from the government that there is no need to panic, thousands of citizens have been flocking bus stations, taking the first vehicle out of town. Some, however, say they are going up country because that is where they are registered to vote. We caught up with some at Nairobi's major up country bus station.
My vote actually, I took it at Kisii. That's why I'm traveling so that I can vote on 8th of this month.
For fear that the flight of these citizens from the cities would deprive political candidates of votes, the Nairobi County government has deployed officials and a program dubbed Adopt a Bus Stop to stop people from getting out of town.
After taking the tickets, we go through these vehicles, every vehicle. We search for those who are registered in Nairobi. We refund them their money. Only those who are registered at home, we allow them to travel.
Whether leaving town or staying, there's no question that the citizens of this country are under the grip of great anxiety.
Bike riding by women in South Africa is fast gaining ground. Women take pleasure in riding bikes, and they say this is a way of breaking taboos, since this habit was dominated by the male folk before now. Details on that with VOA Africa 54 once more.
When Lydia Mahalango was offered a ride on her neighbor's boyfriend's motorbike in 1983, she fell in love with biking. As a career nurse, she saw many horrific injuries from bike accidents, but when she turned 50 in 2013, 30 years after that first ride, she bought an 883cc super low Harley Davidson.
Everybody else was like 50, you must prepare for your old age and whatever, and I just felt, 50, I'm going to start living my life. And I bought a bike. I didn't even know how to start it, how to ride it, how to do anything. I didn't even know how to ride a bicycle.
After a few hard falls, she hired a private instructor and then joined South Africa's Angels on Bikes, a women's Biking Club. They once rode more than 800 kilometers to Swaziland and back and have covered many more around the country.
People sit with their issues and they get morose, become depressed because of they can't deal with their problems. And biking is not for the faint-hearted, one thing for sure, but you forget about your issues. Personal issues, they don't reign here. I'll only get my problems when I get home.
Biking is not new to South Africa, but it was traditionally a preserve for the minority white population. In the years that followed the end of apartheid, black men and now more black women formed their own clubs.
What I like about biking is the brotherhood and sisterhood, a corner among us, and the love, the love more than your family at some point. So I think you feel at home when you're biking.
The Angels are also changing perceptions that riders are a rowdy, sometimes dangerous lot. They support various social causes such as poor schoolgirls and donating clothes and food to children's homes. And they have got men involved too, working closely with the DeCross Biking Club.
There is that sisterhood especially in black women, because of we forced our way through into the guys' environment, and they are aware of us, of our presence, because we bring a different perspective. We bring style, we bring the feminine touch into the biking. So the rough edges have been toned down a little bit because of there are women involved.
Malanga works as a network manager for the South African Police Service's medical aid, POLMED, shedding off her protective biking gear for suits and a boardroom.
My bosses in the beginning, they thought it's crazy, but now they've learned to accept it. They know that on Friday is my day. I come with jeans, with my bike. So that's it. And at home, yeah, they've accepted it, but not easy. And also, my daughter I bought her a bike. So now it becomes the female thing in the house, and it's good. It's changing the perception even in the township.
There are more than 400 active black female bikers now across the 9 provinces of South Africa, and the numbers are expected to increase as clubs like the Angels spread the word and interest grows. Carolyn Turner, VOA News.
And it's without report day from South Africa on Ladies on Bike that we call it the day tonight. Thanks for watching, but more news will be coming up at 9 p.m. in the French language with Hervé Mokuri. The next newscast in the English language will be tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. in the French language. We hope to be in your company same time tomorrow when it will be 8 p.m. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to DBS for more information on entertainment if you can. Good night.